Junior year, let's say it cost 6,000. Second semester, 5,000. Summer school, $1,000. Senior year, first semester, let's say it costs 5,500. Second semester, 4,500. And you're only going to take one summer school class because you failed English your freshman year. You got to go back and take freshman English. Let's say $300. Now, if you look over to your left, you'll notice it updated your chart in real time. You guys see that? Now, close out of Excel. Just click on the close button at the top right, and it'll take you right back into PowerPoint. And the first thing we're going to do is click on the graph and click on the frame of that graph. Now that you clicked on the frame, double click on that frame and you'll see this pop up, your chart options. And chart options, you can change all of the features of your chart. And the thing that you may want to do is to click on this design tab and change your chart style. And you got a lot of them there already built in. A lot of chart colors already built in. Do you want to choose colors at random? Do you want to choose colors that look good to you? Or do you want to choose colors that match your school? You want to match your school so that they're consistent. Okay? So, that's one way of changing your color scheme. Another way of changing your color scheme is to click on the bars themselves. So if you click on the first bar, you'll notice it highlights the whole series. You guys see that? When you click on one bar, it highlights the whole series. When the whole series is highlighted, right click and go to Format Data Series. Right click, go to Format Data Series. And here, now you got specific options just for that particular piece of data. You can overlap your bars. You can add spacing in between them. You can make them thicker or thinner. You can change the fill. If you want a gradient fill, you can change it right there. You can even fill with the picture if you want. You can change them to be transparent. All kinds of cool stuff. You can add borders and shadows. And you can even make them 3D. If you want to change, instead of doing the whole series, you want to change it individually, just double click on one of those bars and then you can change it individually. You don't have to change them as a group together. But I kind of would advise you to change them as a series. Okay, for this next one, take a look up at the screen. Over on the left-hand side, you notice on the chart they have corresponding numbers, 7,000 all the way down to 0. And this is on what's called the y-axis, right? You guys remember that from math class? The x-axis is your vertical, your y-axis is horizontal. If you right-click on those data numbers, you can go to Format Axes and do that with me. We're going to change this into a number. So click on the number button and then choose currency. So now it shows $7,000 instead of just 7,000. Change your decimal place to 0. We don't need 7,000.00. And click close. So you can modify anything in this chart by either right clicking or double clicking on it. You want to change the fonts of the labels down here? Right click on them. Go to Format Axes. Or actually, you don't even got to do that. If you just right click on it, it brings up the font options right here. So you can change the style of the font. You can change the size and the font color as well. Okay, two more quick things to show you, then we will be done. Click on the frame of your chart. Wherever you're at, click OK. Click on the frame of your chart. And then up at the top, take a look up at the board. Up at the top in the very left-hand corner, you'll see where it says Change Chart Type. So if you want to use any of these 3D cones or any of those things, that's how you change it right there. Change chart type. It's okay if you stick with the default plain bar chart because that's the easiest one to format. That's the easiest one to read. You don't want to make this thing too complicated. The next thing that you can change is the numbers. So let's say, for example, let's say you find out some more information and the tuition actually went up for 2011 when you guys are going to be in school. If you click on this button here that says Edit Data, you guys see where I'm at? Edit Data. That'll then open back up Excel. And you can type in your new numbers. So let's say freshman year, they changed it instead of 4,500, it's now 5,500. Semester 2, they changed that to 5,000. Summer school is now $3,000. Exit out of Excel, it takes you right back into PowerPoint, and there are your updated numbers. Finally, take a look up at the screen. Some people may run into this issue here. You see how it shows up fresh, ... and junior? and it squishes the word semester and stuff over here, or your data doesn't show up. The reason it does that is because your chart is too small. So instead, if you click, you can drag it out and make it a little bit larger to fit your area that you have allowed for it. You can also move the physical chart on the screen as well. So if your data labels don't show up, stretch it and give it room, make it a little bit larger. And each presentation needs to have at least one chart. So make sure when you're doing your research, you look for something that you can make a chart out of, whether it's tuition, cost, price, room and board, no matter what it is, fees, books, things that you have to pay for. Look for percentages, graduation rates, and stuff like that. Okay. Any quick questions? Yes, no? No. Alrighty, that is all from me. You have the rest of the class to work.